Hey, what's up? So, clearly something here looks a little bit differently, right? You're probably wondering, what is different here? Something's a little off here. Is it the fact that my camera angle seems wide as fuck and I look stretched out as hell? Or maybe it's the fact that you get a wider look at everything I got going on right now. For today's video, we're getting a little different here. We're getting a little risque, a little different here. See, because instead of me reacting to something like I'm like pyrocynical or some shit, I want to rant today. I miss discussion, and you get to see it in my most comfortable position. You get to see it here in my humble abode. And I think for today, I kind of just want to talk about something I feel it needs to be explained more to my more longer time viewers, and that's rating music. Just music reviews in general. Alright, so if you've been watching this channel for the past like year now at least, you should know that I used to review music, but I stopped a couple months back for a multitude of reasons. I think one of the biggest issues I had to deal with was the constant backlash from the people who couldn't understand people have different opinions from them. So I guess that had them all butthurt. It was just very annoying to deal with people trying to tell me that I didn't know shit about what I was talking about, constantly acting like I'm just a dumbass child. And while they're like half correct, I am dumb as shit. I'm not a child, you know what I mean? And I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to music theory. I think another reason why I have a gripe with reviewing music at this point right now is because I feel as if just the entire music review thing is flawed. Personally, it's flawed, it's scarred. You know what I mean? The system is broken. It's corrupt. For me personally, I feel like I think one of the main factors comes in the fact of like, personally, I just feel like people have just refused to accept the fact that people have different opinions from them. Like, for example, right? Let's take Ken Carson's recent project that dropped, right? I didn't give a fuck about that project. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I know a lot of people liked it. I know a lot of people didn't really care for it either. And I know a lot of people thought it was trash. Personally, I didn't really care for it. It just sounded like just another generic opium rage trap thing that I feel like is a little bit overplayed, but at the same time, I could see why people are into it. I just wish people wouldn't gas it up so much. I mean, next time, just get on your knees and suck Ken Carson's dick. I don't know, I was never really a fan of Ken Carson's rapping style. I always just thought it was pretty B tier, you know what I mean? He doesn't have any charisma. He has no energy. It makes a lot of his songs sound very boring, very repetitive. And I feel like he kind of throws off a lot of the beats that he's given. I bring this up, right, because, right, the reviewers that came through with it, they've definitely given their own fair share of opinions, because everybody does, right? Everybody has to give their own opinions on everything, right? I do it. I'm doing it literally right fucking now, right? One of them was everybody's favorite melon, Fantano, and the other one was Pitchfork. Now, if I'm correct here, Pitchfork gave this album a 7.3, while Fantano gave it a 3 out of 10. But when it came to a lot of the reaction to these reviews, people got very butthurt. People got very in their feelings, and on just both sides of the spectrum, you had a lot of people that were mad because Fantano shot on another opium album, which, I mean, are you surprised? Are you really surprised? I mean, come on. But at the same time, a lot of people were mad because it was given a 7.3. A lot of people were acting like this was the worst shit that could have ever happened in the history of hip-hop, and that hip-hop is dying, which that's going to be a whole nother topic in a whole separate video, right? All right. And I mean, all this discourse, it was so unnecessary. It was so ridiculous. It was, you know what I mean? It was bigger than the ass cheeks that clap right behind these pant legs, right? You had like, some people were mad because the album got a higher score than The Forever Story by Jid, which is a great album in itself. I loved that album when it came out. If I'm not mistaken, it was actually my #1 album of last year in my top 10. But when talking about the reactions to the reactions of the album, it mainly just goes back to the statement of people just can't respect other people's opinions, because for some reason everybody just has to act like them and think like them on every single thing. Like, I don't understand why it's so hard to not be so triggered because I thought an album was shit. But you know what? This video's main topic is supposed to be talking about the flaws of the rating system, and the biggest portion of that comes in that 7.3, and that 3 out of 10. It's all the numbers. That's the biggest issue. It's the numbers. Maybe if people just said you liked it or you didn't like it, it'd be a lot different, which people do. You know what I mean? People do that a lot, right? Dead end hip hop and all that shit. They do that a lot, right? Which, side note, if you're wondering why I'm like not looking directly at the camera, it's because this is like my first time doing this, clearly, if you actually watch this channel, and I really don't know how to operate this thing yet. I'm still not 100% comfortable. But to backtrack, right? It's the numbers. A lot of people just get very mad over arbitrary numbers that honestly hold no significance for anybody. If I give an album an 8 out of 10, what does that mean for you? What does it do for you? What does it do for the music industry? What does it do for anybody? Why do people even take these numbers seriously? What, because it's meant to validate your music taste and opinion because you think your music taste is different? You probably do. Like, the person probably watching this video probably thinks he has such a unique music taste. You probably just listen to like Benny the Butcher or some shit, bro. You're not unique. You're no different than me. And when it comes to these numbers, as I said before, it's meant for validation. We don't need to sit down right now. I'm getting cardio. Like, same shit with like 10 out of 10s. When people like look at like Fantano's 10, let's see here, you got The Money Store by Death Grips, you got To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar, you got that One Lingua Ignore That album, you got that Spelling album, and you know, a couple of other things there. Fantano doesn't give out a lot of 10, but what I will say is, right, is that a lot of people treat these albums with a lot of very high praise. I'm gonna be honest, it's mainly because of the 10s. It is. I love Death Grips. They're one of my more favorite groups. I love their music, even though it took me a while to get into them, because when I first listened to them, I thought they were the worst thing to ever happen in music, and I wanted to rip my ears out and throw them in the fucking toilet. But now, I love Death Grips. But do I like The Money Store? Do I think The Money Store is a 10 out of 10 album that should be praised for the end times? No, I really don't. I don't see how people like The Money Store. I genuinely think it is a doo-doo butt album. I don't care for it. Personally, I like Government Plates, and I love No Love Deep Web. I even like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Grabber, whatever the hell that was. I mean, whenever I listen to The Money Store, it just sounds like just such a nonsensical piece of work. It sounds even more like a nonsense than anything else Death Grips has did, in my opinion. And I know it's like, oh, but they got Get Got on there. Do you really care about Get Got? Do you really care about, do you care about Get Got? Look me in the eyes. Do you give a fuck about Get Got? You don't. And that's kind of like one of my more main things. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm sorry, y'all. I did too much standing, too much cardio. I need to sit back. I need to sit down again. I gotta look at you in the eyes with some sincerity, all right? If you get that twisted over an arbitrary number based off somebody else's opinion that holds little to no significance in today's age, let's keep it a buck, that holds little to no significance in the music industry when it comes to accolades, or really just about anything, really, unless it's just online music communities, then honestly, that's a problem for you. It is. It really is a problem for you. I feel like you really do just need to, 1, log off the internet and go touch some real grass. I mean, come on, bro. 2, you really need to understand that there's more to life out there than whatever your opinions are. You know what I mean? I get people think differently than me. Like, prime example, take Youngboy fans. I've reviewed 4 Youngboy albums on this channel. Not once has he ever gotten a score higher than a 5 from me, because I just genuinely think his albums are repetitive trash. But every single time I do review on him, I get so much shit for it. People always say the same things. Oh, he's changing hip hop. Oh, he's did something different this time. And I'm just like, bro, this sounds like ass. I don't like, you know, I don't see the appeal. But I mean, hey, if you mess with it, that's you. And it's just stuff like that that just, it made me want to stop reviewing. You know what I mean? It made me want to just stop reviewing, stop putting a number on things, stop trying to be super analytical on music in general. I just didn't really feel a purpose in it, because I felt like if people were going to be this mad about my opinion and people were going to be this twisted over, once again, a meaningless number that holds no weight, especially from a channel with only 1,700 subscribers. You're getting mad at a dude with 1,700 subscribers? That's what you're getting mad at? You know what I mean? I feel like you need to hold your standards a little bit higher for yourself. You know what I mean? If you're getting that twisted at me. I mean, like, just look at my fucking room. Does this room scream music nerd to you? You know what I mean? This room screams. I have a couple vinyls on here that I don't even play. They just sit on my dresser. That's what this room screams. But I mean, when it applies to the fans, when it applies to the listeners, you know, people like me, people like you or whatever. It's gotten to a point where I don't even watch like reviews anymore because I just don't see the point in it. I don't watch anybody else's reviews because I don't really see the point in it. Like, I might check a few things just for the analytical part of it, but when it comes to scores and shit, I'm just like, okay, whatever, I've done my job. I don't need to see the number. Oh, Fantano gave such and such album a 9, but I gave that shit a 5. That's just what it was. All I could tell you is just listen to the music, all right? Just listen to the music. Whether the album is seen as a 3, to some people it's going to be seen as an 8, and to some people it's going to be seen as a 10. That's just what life is, man. But I mean, yeah, that's basically the rundown. I kind of hope y'all like this format. I kind of like this. I like being ranty. I like being off script even more than what I was before. I like being off key. I love being off kilter. I mean, but how do y'all like the room though? How do y'all? I got a basketball hoop up. I got my Call of Duty poster. Any of y'all play Call of Duty? I know this is like one of the shittier ones, but I don't know. I don't really have much of a personality. I think you can tell that. But yeah, I gotta go. See you. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you like the new format. I wanted to feel a bit more natural for the channel. But if you like the video, feel free to subscribe as well. Follow my IG on Twitter and follow Chocolate on Instagram for more illustrations. On that note, I'll see you guys next time when I'll record myself touching grass for once. Peace.